Well, that is going to do it for the news and weather part of our show. The race for titles and playoff points is on. Howard Chen has you covered. Hardcore football starts now.
Fox Toledo Hardcore Football is brought to you by Central Catholic High School. Now, here's all of tonight's action.
And welcome into another edition of Hardcore Football. I'm Howard Chen. Right now, we're in the thick of league play. What that means is that games get more intense. It goes beyond playoff points. And to take you through our most intense game of the night, our Jim White Honda Game of the Week is Mike Thompson. Mike?
Well, tonight's game between Southview Cougars and the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets, a ton of importance for both teams. The winner will put themselves in the driver's seat for the NLL title. Just 4 games left. Now, I want to thank a lot of the fans for going out, logging on to FoxToledo.com and voting for Jackets Cougars. This week's Jim White Honda Game of the Week. It was miserable outside, to say the least. Wet, rainy, cold, windy, you name it. It had it for an end of September. Perrysburg took an early 7-0 lead, and then in the second quarter, Austin Valdez to J.Q. Bowers picks it up down to the 15-yard line, and then on 4th down, Mazies elects to go for it. Valdez finds Travis Miller for the score, 7-6 at half. Second half, third quarter, Jalen Maribel, huge run down the near sideline all the way to the 6-yard line. And that got the Cougars fired up. It pretty much had their way with the Yellow Jackets in the second half. And Jay Fisher, that next play after that long run, touchdown. Southview is fired up. It's 14-7 after the 2-point conversion was made. Defense for Southview, they stepped it up. There goes Slocum down to the ground, and the Cougars up now 21-7. Let's make that 26-7, 27-7, I should say. Sorry. 2-point conversion good. Southview wins this one, 29-7 a final. Mazies likes the direction his team is headed.
I'm very, very pleased with the attitude of our football team in the second half. They played some Cougar football, some great Cougar football, and they're moving toward that kind of team that I thought they could be.
After the loss from start, I think that our team just came together, you know, we got more focused, and this win is a huge win. Like, they're a good team, and we had to take each team by team just win, you know, and this is the biggest win of the season, I think.
We had things going exactly how we wanted in the first half. Second half, we just made a couple mistakes. They got up on us, and we kind of went into panic mode. We didn't execute. We didn't do what we did the whole first half, and a good team like them is going to take advantage of it.
That's exactly what the Cougars did. It basically turned into a ground and pound. Southview, they win this week's Jim White Honda Game of the Week, 29-7 over the Yellow Jackets. That NLL's getting a little hairy. Howie, you're going to tell us a little bit more about what's going on in the NLL, but first tell us, where might the fans vote for us to go next week?
I'll tell you what, Southview might be involved in the next game of the week, but that's not up to me. That's up to you. Log on to FoxToledo.com and make your choice. The poll's there right now as we speak. Okay, like Mikey said, more NLL. Bowling Green, Anthony Wayne, battle of 2 4-1 teams. A. Wayne driving inside the BG 25-yard line when Aaron DeLay takes the handoff up the middle for the score, and it's 7-0 Generals. BG inside the A-Dub 30-yard line. Derek Schrader's pass picked off by Max Newcomer. Certainly not a newcomer to our highlights because we've mentioned him before. Doing a good job there on defense. Late in the first quarter, Sam Bruno takes the handoff, and check out the camera work. Fancy, fancy. Keeps his feet just in bounds, and so he goes all the way down the left sideline. Anthony Wayne on top of BG 14-0 to go on to win 41-0. More NLL. Which cat's the more powerful, the Panthers of Maumee or the Wildcats of Napoleon? Either it's homecoming or people just like wearing crowns. My guess is that it's homecoming. For Maumee, Jay Schneider lofts the ball to Dominic King, wide open, steps out of bounds just in front of the pylon. So Brandon Phoenix finishes the job. Maumee up 7-0. More waving from people in crowns. Like I said, it's probably homecoming, which it is. That was the homecoming queen. Schneider to Sean McGovern makes it 14-0. This one actually went to overtime where Maumee kicked a 19-yarder, a field goal to win it in OT, 23-20. Well, lots of football left, including an emotional one on Cherry Street. Next on Hardcore Football, find out what made this Central game absolutely different than any other.
Now back to Fox Toledo Hardcore Football.
The Central community was absolutely rocked this week with the passing of Bob Smith. It's safe to say the man was considered a mentor for anybody in the school over the last 40 years. Just check Facebook and the walls of Irish past and present. They're filled with kind words about the man, and we shouldn't forget he was a State Football Hall of Famer from Fremont. He was at St. Joe, but still, two worlds basically colliding tonight on Cherry Street. You ask Greg Dempsey, he has a lot of kind words to say about Mr. Smith. His Irish up 28-6 at the half of the Little Giants. They came to play in the second. Dylan Starks catches the ball at his own 2. Takes it 70 yards, not all the way, but still gets down to the Central 26-yard line. That would set up Trent Stout. Stout's pretty tough to stop because he's huge. Yeah, that's what I said. 5-yard score for him, cuts the lead to 28-14. Next Fremont drive, they keep coming. Tyler Wolf, except he gets picked off by Derek Hafner in the end zone. That stops that drive. Last chance for Fremont Ross on 4th and 1, and Wolf diving ahead, but he gets stuck by that large Central defensive front, and so the Irish win it 28-14.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very good football team. We knew they were going to come out and give us their best punch, and once again, we're a young football team against a good team coming out with that big lead. You know, you got the biggest thing in halftime adjustment-wise is keeping them focused and letting them know these guys are going to come out punching in the mouth, and you better be ready for it and be ready to punch them back. We lost a longtime coach here and at Fremont St. Joe's, Coach Bob Smith. We have heavy hearts here right now. He was a great man. He was my first boss here. He's my freshman coach here. It was a tough week, and you know, we celebrated him a little bit here tonight.
And one of the scores that really stood out last week was Findlay's 31-7 dismantling of the Central Catholic group that we just showed you. That game sent a clear message. The Trojans are for real. Now, of course, St. Francis might have something to say about that. Knights are always a scrappy group, so maybe they can grind this one out. 1:27 the first quarter. St. Francis ball. Nice connection. David Neese and Nathan White. 20-yard pickup. Next play, Jared Jefferson. He's had a constant spot on the hardcore highlights so far this year, making another one. High-stepping past the defender, getting by one last one there into the end zone. 28 yards, 14-7, the lead chopped in half. Findlay still on top. St. Francis cheerleaders, they're part of the scrappy group, doing some push-ups, helping them along. Findlay ball now, 2nd and long, 2nd and 20. Paul Cosiano to Jimmy Ulrich for much longer than 20. Findlay up 21-7, final score of this one. Trojans remain unbeaten, 35-7, the final. So Findlay keeps up with Whitmer. Panthers are doing what everybody expected so far. It continued tonight, though it was a struggle early. Jody Webb, right place, right time when Clay's Kyle Stevenson drops the punt and waltzes into the end zone. 7-0 Panthers. But Clay gave Whitmer some problems early on. They answered immediately. Bryce Castilleja hurdles over defenders into the end zone, 2 yards. Clay ties it with the extra point, but here's the next play. Mark Myers, from his own 8-yard line, he's the focus of last week's Hardcore Recruiting Minute. Getting hardcore for the kickoff return touchdown. Whitmer pulls away. They win 54-7. All right, just down the street. Starts to struggle the past 2 weeks, looking to get their swagger back against Scott. First half, up 14-0. Marty Ramirez diving for it. So close for the interception, but Ramirez would get the ball back on offense, and he was a beast, leading the Spartans downfield for the most part. 11 yards on that run for the first down. They would get to the Scott 10-yard line in the second half on the first drive, but then they fumbled. Bulldogs would recover, but Scott recovered after that for the victory, 28-6. City League battles continue with Waite and Rogers. Randy Bartz looking on. First series as quarterback. DJ Tucker finding Josh Taliaferro. Now the defender tried to make a play on that, and he didn't. Therefore, Taliaferro does. 73 yards the rest of the way, and it's 8-0. Rams on top late first quarter. Tucker, Milton Roberts, Rams up 28-zip at the half, and they go on to win this one 28-6. Well, last week, Rossford ended an unbelievable skid. Could they turn that into a streak? Find out next on Hardcore Football. Well, last week's greatest story was Rossford snapping a 35-game losing skid against Woodmore. Kids were cheering from the stands, a sight that hasn't been seen in too long. If they can make that 2 straight, especially against an unbeaten Eastwood team, that would mean a ton. Except the Eagles were on top 55-0 at the half, so the JV came in, and Blake Coring puts another 6 on the board for the Eagles, who's a laid-back night for Coach Rutherford, taking it easy. Now, it's safe to say, I mean, Eastwood would win this game, but I'm just going to be going on a limb here. Rossford's probably not going to lose 35 straight like they did before last week's win over Woodmore. But Eastwood's just pretty good this year, so Eastwood winning tonight to improve to 6-0, 69-14 the final there. Meanwhile, Genoa trying for a consecutive regular season win number 45. It's safe to say the Comets are streaking right now. Tied at 6 in the first. Knights looking for an upset, though. Ryan Smoyer picked off by Devin Sibby. He goes all the way pick 6 style. 13-6 Comets only on top by 7, but then the floodgates would open literally. Kyle Nutter going ahead for the plunge. He scores, and the Comets would score plenty after that. They roll 43-12 for the 45th win in a row. Well, Alan Gant may be the talk of Southview, and rightfully so, since he's headed to Michigan and has an aunt who cooks some great cheesy potatoes. But there's more than one Cougar with D1 talent. JQ Bowers might be under the radar right now, but we found him for our hardcore recruiting minute. Southview coach Jim Mazies compares JQ Bowers to possibly one of the best NLL players ever.
We were talking about Page, and he, you know, JQ can run in the open field a lot like him. You know, they do all kinds of things. They're multifaceted.
And taking a page from Page's recruitment process, JQ's getting MAC looks, but might be getting overlooked because of his size.
JQ certainly holds up to the standards of speed, you know, 5'9", 5'10". Sometimes they don't necessarily, you know, there's lots of guys playing that aren't exactly the perfect fit that everybody's looking for, and they still make plays. Some guys are fast, but they don't have that ability to hit the ball at its highest point. And whatever that ability is, he has that.
Either way, JQ will get an opportunity somewhere. He has an offer from Fordham, and Toledo and Bowling Green are looking to keep him closer to home.
They're both good programs, and they're coming up, and they both have like a great education, like a great academic program, so it'd be good for me to get offered by one of those schools.
And wherever JQ goes, if his impact is anything like what his coach sees in him, a school could be in for a real find. And JQ tells us he'll be making his decision a few weeks after the season. Well, up next on Hardcore Football, did you make it on our latest Hardcore Hits? Either as a fan or as a player, you never know, but you can find out after the break.
We faced some great running backs in you know, these last 4 weeks, and he definitely rates up there with them. I'll tell you what, his speed when he makes a break and it might not be there and then bounces it outside is as good as I've seen.
The last time Bernard Pierce played against Toledo, it was 2 years ago. He was a sophomore, and he scored 3 touchdowns in that game against the Rockets. Now, he's a senior, leading the MAC in rushing, and Toledo's got a tough one tomorrow against a team that just beat Maryland, so they have the potential to go 1-4. But before that game, there was Hilltop and Northwood tonight. Rangers are tied atop the tack. First quarter, Nick Russell going long to Fletcher Isaacs, 40 yards, down to the 10. 2 plays after that, Russell keeps it. Goes around the right side, 7 yards, 7 points, 7-0 Northwood. Ken James, hands in his pockets, but in those shorts. Didn't matter how cold it was, he's always wearing those shorts, gotta love him. Northwood's Tyler Mack, 1-yard score, makes it 14-zip. Then in the second quarter, Stephen Fuller from 10 yards away. He scores 2. Northwood against Hilltop, final score of this one, 68-8. On Monday, when they do come home, Joe Rognoski will be there at Comerica for games 3 and 4. Here right now, though, some hardcore hits. Just remember, tomorrow, huge college day with UT going against Temple, Bowling Green on the road in Morgantown against the ranked West Virginia team. That's pretty tough, too. Right now, we have some hardcore hits. Mike Thompson, he put it together. A lot of good stuff in this, a lot of hits, a lot of fans dressed out, decked out in all the spirit. If you deck yourself out and go crazy for the cameras, make the hardcore hits. So here you go. Hardcore hits, courtesy Mike Thompson. Have a good night, everybody.
Are we ready? Are we ready? This is Elmore!